Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. So, Nina, Alexis, and Gregory. One of the many things I've noticed about Alexis is that she hates when she's wrong. She's the type of woman who likes to sit there and say, well, if you teach me something new and I'm wrong, I will be the first person to admit it. She definitely did not show that today. Because, Nina comes in with some ideas and she's talking about how she wants to sit there and increase revenue and readership and stuff like that. And she's like, she want to start a gossip column. Alexis, she didn't like the way that the Invader was being ran the last time. She was like, we not doing that. I don't think that she understands that you don't actually have final say. She does. But, she's like, she doesn't like the idea of it. And, Nina is not sitting there saying, hey, listen, we can't sit and have internal integrity and stuff like that, but we need to sit there and get more people. And the best way to sit there and do that is, gossip and stuff like that, because that stuff sells. And she walks out, and Alexis is upset about it. She starts yelling at Gregory for some odd reason, and Gregory's like, yeah, I agree with her. She breaks it down. He breaks it down about why she's right as far as running a gossip magazine. Running, a gossip column. And, she has that look on her face. She's like, I don't like it. And there's one point she's like, I don't exactly remember what she said, but I think she said something along the lines of like, I wouldn't read that. And Gregory was like, yeah, but you're one person now. So ultimately, I think Alexis agreed with Nina, but she didn't want to sit there and say it, and she didn't want to say it to Gregory. And of course, Gregory, after that, asked her to the wedding. Now, there's a point after Tracy is upset about absolutely nothing. Let's just be very clear. She walked in that room with Maxie, Sasha, Lucy, and Brooklyn. And they were celebrating their win about how their issue, did really well. But Tracy wants to sit there and nitpick and just be that person. So finally, when everyone leaves, Brooklyn's like, I know what's going on. And she's like, you're lonely. She's like, you're lonely. And she does this whole psychoanalyzing thing with her when she starts like asking questions like, you're lonely, this, that, and the third, which I'm going to be honest, it wouldn't annoy her. It would annoy everyone. No one likes being psychoanalyzed. No one. But she does sit there and say, um, she does sit there and get her to admit without her actually saying that, she has feelings for Gregory. Max is like, you aren't afraid of anything. You're Tracy Quartermain. You take no prisoners or whatever. So Tracy goes to the Invader, and she's about to sit there and ask Gregory out. But Alexis like, yeah, I'm free. So, we could sit there and go to the wedding together. Now, at that point, it was just one of those things like, it's like you kind of felt the level of embarrassment and hurt in her face without her even saying it. I mean, she was so bothered by that. There was one point I think she said something and she messed up on what she said. It was I don't think it was like a line thing. I think she was just like literally that flustered. She walks out. So apparently, part of me is just thinking about this. I was doing the live streams and stuff. People would sit there and be like, "Oh, I want to see Tracy with Gregory," and I would always sit there and shut it down because I'm just like, one, it's not going to really matter because they're going to wind up killing him off anyway, and two, I just don't see it. But now they're doing this somewhat love triangle, which is kind of stupid because unless they just find some sort of miracle cure for him, you're killing off the character anyway. So what's even the point of doing this? Sunny, Ava, talking about Olivia for a little bit, and Selena comes in. Selena wants to sit there and talk business, and she wants Ava out the room because she's no longer part of the mob stuff. So it's like, yo, I'm not discussing like mob business in front of you. But she's upset with Sunny. She's upset with Sunny because she's like, why did I have to sit in here from Curtis that there's somebody that's going out picking people off one by one? And she's so mad. And the answer that Sunny gives is like, oh well, I mean, I don't really have to sit there and tell you anything. And here's my thing. I think he talks to Selena that way because he know that if it came down to it, he would sit there and squash her pretty much. And I think that's what it comes down to. There's a lot of times I'm just like, how are you just gonna sit there and just let him talk to you like that? But I always sat there and was like, how are you letting half of these people just talk to you with a level of disrespect for a mob queen? And at this point she's like, how about we just sit there in our alliance and you do you and I do me, and if we cross paths then oh wow. But Sonny, just kind of pretty much says like, listen, that's not gonna happen. And he does sit there and level with her, and he tells her that there's a leak in his organization, and that's when she's like, there's a leak in her organization as well. So they make this trade-off. She still wants to do the poker games, and he wants information from the guard that Selena got. I wonder where these poker games going to be at, since I'm pretty sure they're not going to be doing that to Savoy anymore. Which, by the way, I don't know. I guess that's the level of expectancy that I would, because it made me think yesterday when Portia found out and how mad she was going to be about it, and I guess as mad as I guess it's as mad as she can actually be. I mean, there's no one sat there and said that she was going to leave him or anything. So here's an odd scene. So Lucy Smith is talking to Felicia and trying to find out what's going on with Maxie and Brooklyn and their relationship and stuff like that. And after they talk for a little bit, Lucy goes back to Brooklyn. And she's like, yo, listen, I want to know what's going on between you two. Like, what's up? And she basically is like, listen, if you don't tell me what's going on, then I will tell. She's like, if you don't tell me what's going on, then I will sit there and tell Tracy that you and Maxie are scheming against her. And I'm just like, okay, but you don't have any proof of that. You don't have any proof. And Brooklyn's like, all right, fine. What do you want to know? And I'm like, wait. Why are you caving to her? All she's saying that they're saying is that she'll sit there and tell your grandmother that you are up to no good and that you're going to sit there and betray her. But you don't actually have any proof. So why don't you just tell her to kick rocks and call her bluff? And the only thing after that, Lucy's like, well, whatever it is, I want in. Now, clearly this is for plot purposes because you're making a blackmail demand with no proof, and she just accepts. Now the same with Trina and Jocelyn. I didn't really so much care for, specifically because for like the last past 3 or so days, it's like we've gotten the same dialogue from Trina. Nothing means anything anymore. Everything is colorless because of Spencer going gone. And it's just literally the same dialogue, the same tone for like the last past couple of episodes. So I didn't really care so much about that. And Jocelyn kind of talking about Dex, but not really talking about Dex's situation up until the point where they start talking about, she can sit and try to find him and track him and the guards and stuff like that. And she looks across and she sees Finelli and she's like, um, maybe we could sit there and try to track his phone. Meanwhile, you got Spinelli and Cody. Okay, I should probably back. So Felicia's not there telling Spinelli that Maxie talked to her financial advisor and things are kind of looking up. So you may not sit there and stay there as long. You may not sit there and stay that long anymore. But with that being said, Spinelli starts to fight her. Like, oh, I miss hanging out with the kids and, this, that, and the third. Just coming to all sorts of reasons of why not to leave. And then Cody comes in there to kind of just back up the story. So when Felicia gets hurled out by Lucy, Spinelli does tell Cody that he does have feelings for Maxie, but he doesn't want to sit there and ruin their friendship. Meanwhile, you got Maxie and Sasha talking, and eventually they get to the same point where, Maxie talks about how much she enjoys living with him and kind of just talking about their days and stuff. And at some point, Spinelli talks about karaoke, and I guess that's how he got her to fall in love with him or something. I don't know. And Cody looks at the flyer, so Cody calls up Sasha and it's like, hey, let's get together tonight or whatever to do karaoke. So you're gonna sit there and try to do that whole thing. And I know some people really want them together. I'm kind of in the middle. I mean, I don't usually do the whole coupling thing, but I think back then it was a little bit different. I guess they can make it work now. I don't know, but I mean, to be honest, Maxie hasn't actually had a relationship since Peter, so I think anyone that she goes out with moving forward has to be a step up. Um, and won't be at the very least a sociopath. I mean, think about it. Besides, let's see, people that she was lucky and that didn't turn out well. And it was Jesse and he wound up getting shot. And it was Nathan and he wound up getting shot. And then it was the other guy, Levi, and he was a scumbag. So I think she deserves a win at this point. I think she deserves an actual win. Wasn't she going out with Logan or something like that? I don't even remember. Or was that Lulu? Maybe it was both of them. But the point is, she deserves a win at this point. So I guess we'll see what happens. And finally, there's the whole Carly and Drew thing. Carly being upset, not so much because Olivia's dead, but just because it brings up a lot of painful memories with Morgan. So they're talking about that, and Nina comes in there, and Nina's like, hey, listen, I just want to thank you for pretty much kind of sabotaging me and everything as far as starting up my magazine. Because now I'm working at the Evader. I'm the publisher and stuff. So, she pretty much is like, thank you for firing me up and angering me enough to sit there and level up with Valentine's help. So, and she pretty much just kind of declares war on both of them, walks out, and, Drew's like, yo, can you believe that woman? Now, at this point, Carly's pissed off at Drew because he's like, yeah, we already know that this woman's a loose cannon. My point is, why did you sit there and antagonize her? I saw it in the promos, and we saw it the last time that she was talking to Diane, that she's starting to get pissed off at Drew constantly sitting there goading this woman. Constantly sitting there goading this woman. Because it's like Nina is just, Carly just wants to be done with it at this point. She just wants to back and forth to stop. She wants to sit there and move forward. And Drew is just hell bent on revenge. I'm like, well, maybe Carl, maybe she'll go back to the diner at this point. Yeah, I feel like that's about it. I can't think of anything else that wound up happening. But As I always do, sit there and say, if I forget anything, come to the live stream tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We'll sit there and talk about all the shows, General Hospital, Days of Our Lives, Bold and Beautiful, and Young and the Restless. And with that being said, I'm going to go. I'll see you in the next video.